Hello, everybody. Welcome to Bumper Sticker Wisdom. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time of day you're listening to us. I'm Jason.
And I'm John.
Brother John here is going to say a quick little prayer. We'll get this gig started.
All right. Heavenly Father, we just want to thank you for giving us the opportunity and the courage and the audacity to be so bold as to step out in front of really the world and share our love and faith in you, and also our troubles and our traumas and our trials. And Father, it's just we just want to bring everything to you, and we want to lay it at your feet and be unafraid to share, and unafraid to share with each other, and also to be unafraid to find some healing in it. So, Father, we thank you for this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Whew. All right, so relatively good weekend, I presume.
It was it was the beginning of March Madness.
That's all.
Yeah, Thursday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Missed out.
I know. It's
Dang
okay,
it.
though.
Dang it.
We have to do a better job of planning that.
Yeah, then too, it's kind of work had been slow for a couple weeks, and then like for some crazy reason,
Right.
last week and this week I've had this huge surge.
Which is good.
Oh well, yeah, it's great, but I mean, could it have not held off for about 2 more days?
Right. One thing I enjoy about it, but also it's kind of like, man, we got to figure out something different. Is I spend so much time preparing and cooking food. And again, I enjoy it. I love cooking. I love like trying to creating things in the kitchen and stuff like that. I'm way better in the kitchen than I am on like a smoker or a grill. Yeah. But
brisket turned out pretty good though, huh?
It was really good. Thank you for all the help, by the way. We were text versating about it the whole time.
Yeah.
Did you let that rest? No, dude. But it really did. It turned out really good. It was really, really tender and moist.
Did you freeze any of it, or?
Yeah, the flat.
Yeah.
The flat side. We really ate the point and left the flat for later. Yeah. But even still, 4 days later, slices off the flat before we froze it were really still juicy, tender, and good. Yeah. So I got to do better at. I forget that on a brisket, the bark, you really have to season the crap out of it.
Oh,
and I don't think I do enough. So my bark isn't quite as
that's
flavorful.
I hate to say it's the only way you're going to get flavor, but that's where you're going to get your flavors off.
Yeah. I will. You told me to, hey, when you cut all that fat off, render it down. Yeah. Which is cool, but that stinks when you're rendering it down. It smelled like ASS in this house, my boy.
Well, see, you did it in the crock
pot? Yeah.
And I of course, when he did it, I wasn't there when he did it, but what was even crazier about him is he was scooping it out and putting it in a spray bottle. That hot fat like that.
Really?
Bro, and it was so funny watching him try to spray it because he was shaking like crazy because that bottle was hot as
smoking, I'm sure, man.
Yes.
Well, I know the method of wrapping it and then having that like a broth type stuff in the bottom and keeping that paper moist really, really, really does help.
Yeah, because you'd be surprised. Dry paper will suck all the moisture out of some meat.
And I started noticing that just the difference in this one and previous ones. Like I've done good flavor and all that stuff good, but really hard on the outside and kind of roasted. And I think a lot of that had to do with just being dry.
Yeah.
So it was good. I had a lot of fun. But I was telling my wife and my dad, who we spend the whole 4 days. Well, really the first 2 days. After that, it's like, whew, I need to get out of this house. I need to do something else.
Yeah.
We still watch it and all that stuff, but it's not as gung-ho. And I was like, maybe we should just plan to cook meals and do cool stuff, like cool meals, instead of me spending all this time preparing and making all these little finger foods. And you wouldn't think you could spend that much time making finger foods, but I'm here to tell you, son, I spend about 8 hours each day.
Did you make your famous stuffed bread?
That shit, pull-apart cheese bread with fresh green chilies and chopped brisket.
Oh.
It was good. It was really that turned out fantastic. It was good.
Oh, I love that.
My shotgun shells did not turn out good. I overcooked them.
Were the noodles soft?
They were soft, but they got hard because I overcooked them.
I got you. That's
So they
kind of
dry out.
Yeah, that's kind of that's a tough ask because they're fresh out of the box when you load them up.
They're raw noodles, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you're just counting on the stuff that's on the inside
To moisten it, yeah. It was good. Like, the flavor was good and everything. And my barbecue sauce turned out really good. It's not hot like you would like it, but it still turned out good.
Yeah. We ought to do that. Oh man, have you seen those little? They're like shrimp rolls, and he takes that spicy barbecue sauce. I can't remember that guy's name. Tifke.
Okay. What does he do with them?
He makes these shrimp egg roll, these shrimp rolls.
Uh-huh.
And he has like homemade barbecue sauce, like what you're talking about, but he dips those egg rolls. Oh, bro.
I made some really good egg rolls too, by the way. They were good. Those came out really
like
good.
Mom's egg rolls.
I'm not going to say that they're better than Mom's, but yes, they're better than Mom's.
Yeah.
They're more traditional like egg rolls.
Yeah.
But I used brisket meat instead of pork or hamburger. And
I bet those were good.
It was good. It was really good.
Mom makes them with chicken, doesn't she? She's like canned chicken.
I'm not
or something.
100% sure. I did. We're gonna make everybody hungry. I did scorpion tails, which it's just the reason scorpion tail, you stand the shrimp up like this. Yeah. I didn't do that because it's really inconvenient and hard to do. So we just laid them we made nickels out of them or $50 out of it with sausage, jalapeno, and shrimp. And then I made.
You have to fillet them a certain way to get them to stand up.
To get them to stand up,
right?
yeah. And it's really a fine process, and it's like, why?
Yeah.
It's just, at that point, it's not for the eating, it's just for the look.
Yeah.
So I was like, I just want to eat it. I don't care how it looks. Yeah. You know what I mean? And then I did those onion rings.
Stuffed onion rings?
It was hamburger stuffed onion rings wrapped in bacon, smoked, and barbecue sauce.
Yeah. Okay, so
those were good too.
When they do those, the hamburger raw?
Hamburger's raw.
So you pack them in raw and then.
Yep. And then smoke it.
How long those take?
Probably about 90 minutes to 2 hours.
More importantly, how many bags of pellets did you go through?
2 bags. 2 bags.
Yeah.
Probably 2.5 because I had a half a bag before I started the brisket.
Yeah.
But it's a ton of fun, man. I enjoy it, and for me, it's like the Super Bowl, right? For a lot of people,
yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I love football and I love the Super Bowl and all that stuff. It's just it's Sunday for one,
yeah,
and
also too. I know the NIL deal is changing it a lot, but
yeah,
it's still pure. Like they're still playing for their future, so they're actually out there playing their hearts out.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. They're able to make some money now off of their name, image, and likeness, but there's a lot more of them that are not making much money.
Yeah,
that are still playing for a future and playing for a college degree. And you ask those kids that play at Yale. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. That's a prestigious university. It's a high academic school. They're not there for sports necessarily, but they go out and they beat Auburn, who was supposed to spank them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you telling me they don't play for pride?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Those guys it's not about the money.
So who was the biggest upset?
Kentucky losing to Oakland.
Yeah.
3-14 matchup. I actually, a lot of people had Kentucky very probably going to the Final Four. They did not. They're gone after game 1. Ooh.
Yeah. I seen that kid from Oakland too.
Jack Golke.
Yeah, he's. I like his swagger. I like
him.
what he's got going on.
I do too. And they put up a really good fight in the next game. It just didn't.
They lost to South Carolina, right?
North Carolina State.
Yeah.
There's another team not even supposed to be there. They ended up winning the ACC tournament. They beat Duke, North Carolina, and Virginia to get in.
Woo!
And now they've won 2 in the tournament. They're in Sweet 16. They weren't even supposed to be there. You know, I love that. That's what I love about the March Madness. It is madness, bro.
I liked how tough we played Tennessee. Just
We were so close, man. Can I say something? It's sad. I'm gonna sound like a sissy. I actually teared up, man. I never do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I've watched a lot of sports, and I love my teams deeply, but I've never actually gotten emotional over a loss like that ever.
Yeah.
But I think it was because of thinking of a couple of the players that I know their career's over.
Yeah.
A couple of them,
They're not going to go pro, none of that kind of stuff.
yeah. But they gave their heart and soul, game in, game out,
Yeah.
for that university, and you know how much of a fan of the university I am.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but I thought we could win that game, and just didn't get it done. I do pull for Tennessee because I love Rick Barnes. He's probably the most successful basketball coach the Longhorns ever had before he went off to Tennessee, and then Coach Shaka Smart at Marquette, the coach after Rick Barnes, just didn't fit Texas really. But he's a really, really good coach. I bet people hated on him at Texas, but he wasn't the right guy for that job. But he goes to Marquette, and he's had a top 10 team for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
So
It just goes to show you the system.
I think he went too corporate. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It was less personal and became more business when he came to Texas.
Yeah.
And any sport, man, it is a business. Don't get me wrong, but when you don't treat it with passion and vigor and the love of the game,
Yeah.
and you're just treating it like business, you're gonna fail.
Yeah. So this was their last year in the Big 12, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The last. So we're running through. We still got baseball. We won't start in the SEC until fall, which is basically volleyball, football, soccer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a crazy.
Here we go.
West Virginia's in the Big 12, right?
West Virginia's in the Big 12. The Big 12 is completely different. Is going to be completely different.
So, I remember when, Nebraska was part of the Big 12 back in the day, too.
Yes.
And then, if I'm not mistaken, Missouri and Colorado were
Yes.
too, weren't they?
Yes.
Yeah, and it's
Yes.
now it's like.
Now you got Cincinnati, Houston, Arizona is going to be part of that, the Big 12 next year. Yeah. I think Arizona State as well. It's weird. A lot of weird things. TCU didn't used to be part of the Big 12.
Yeah.
They got brought in. It's going to be different. Next year's going to be a little bit. I've always been kind of an SEC hater. And
I know,
now I can't be.
Well, because and I know anybody that's listening is probably going to disagree with me, but the Big 12's always they don't ever get enough respect.
It's a far more competitive conference.
We beat
in
the
all
crap
sports.
out of each other. You know what I mean?
Over and over again. In all sports, baseball, football, basketball, those are the three major sports, right?
Yeah.
But in all sports, we just kick the crap out of each other. And the SEC it's all about football, right? It's all about football. And the SEC gets all the love.
Yeah, when it comes to bowl games, when it comes to anything.
But they're really just top heavy. They've got 3 to 4 teams that are always really, really, really good. And then you got some that are mid, and then you got a bunch that are bottom tier that really.
I'm really curious to see how this rivalry is going to keep playing out with us in Alabama.
It's going to be interesting. We're on opposite sides, I believe.
I know, but we're just because, bro.
It's David. It's Goliath versus Goliath. Really,
Yeah.
Those are two Goliath programs.
I think Alabama's going to have a tremendously different look this year, though.
Oh yeah. Well,
and I don't think that. I mean, I'm not taking anything away from them, but I don't think they're going to be quite the powerhouse they were. I think
now they're going to be coached by the cat from Washington, which beat us in the whatever game it was, the playoff game.
Yeah.
Where that was really just Michael Penix that killed us.
Yeah.
But, it's going to be a different world for me. because now I have to like the SEC because I'm a Longhorn fan. So
Yeah.
I can't think that makes it. You know what's okay? I don't disrespect any fans other than Tech fans.
Tech fans are terrible
because they're hateful. Yeah. They're like Eagles fans.
Yeah, Eagles fans are terrible too.
And A&M fans because they're the same.
You know, but that is one of the. So there's it goes Longhorns all day, but there's a couple of other Texas colleges that I really root for.
Yeah,
as long as they're not playing Longhorns. I do like A&M, but I liked A&M because of Manziel. I liked the flash. It was like a show, you know what I mean? Yeah. So and then from that point on, it just kind of stuck. I do like to see TCU.
I like TCU
do their thing.
Yeah.
Baylor, as long as they're not playing us, I do like to see Baylor do their thing too.
Can handle that. Yep.
You know what I mean?
I like Houston.
Yeah. For some crazy reason, I really like to see SMU do things.
I like SMU too. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's just cool to watch them do things.
I will generally stick to Texas teams. I just can't with Tech.
Yeah, I can't do it with Tech either.
And I can't with A&M because of they. I don't want to get into all this. I'm gonna get a bunch of hate. But, I truly believe that they're just little brother, and they hate Texas so much. That's why they left the Big 12 in the first place, and then they were the only university in the SEC that didn't want Texas to come to the SEC. They didn't care about Oklahoma. Yeah. They just didn't want Texas to come. Why? Because you don't want to see them. That's all it is.
They don't want to play.
You know what I mean? So I cannot wait until the day after Thanksgiving 2024 because that's Texas A&M, baby. Yeah. And I am freaking ready. I saw the last one whenever Justin Tucker, who you didn't even know was a Longhorn, hit the game winner to go. Really didn't do nothing. It was just the last time we played A&M. That's why we were so excited because we weren't that – it's not that we weren't that good. We just weren't championship competitive at the point.
Yeah.
But
there's two teams in Texas that I won't root for. All professional, college, anything.
Tech and Houston Texans. Or Dallas Cowboys.
No. Texas Tech and San Antonio Spurs.
Oh, no, I can't do the Spurs. No, can't.
Those are the only two teams that I can't root for in the state of Texas. I'll root for anybody else. As diehard as I am Rangers, I will root for the freaking Astros, but I will not root for the freaking Spurs or the freaking or the Red Raiders, dude. I just cannot do it. And I cannot stand. It's like when people are like, go Tech, and I'm like,
wreck 'em.
Really?
I love it when people put horns down. I really do. Because all you're doing really is promoting my team. You're still doing the hand gesture. Just because you point them down doesn't mean jack. Because on the other side of the world, they're still standing up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I don't care. I don't care. I love it when people put upside-down Longhorns on their vehicle. You know that you just freaking supported the university.
And then flipped it over.
Because it doesn't naturally come that way. You know what I mean? Hey, go ahead. Donate your money to the University of Texas just because you hate us. Yeah. You hate us because you hate to love us, baby.
You hate us because you ain't us.
And that's it. So, yeah, I enjoy it. So, man, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
But, no, I will root for the Cowboys as long as they're not playing the Broncos.
Sure.
I will root for the Texans as long as they're not playing the Broncos.
Right.
Now, if the two play each other, I'm just gonna root for a good game. I'm gonna want a good game.
I'm like that too. I see a lot of that too. Like, I don't like Duke or North Carolina. I don't like them, but it's a huge rivalry and it's a fun game to watch usually. Yeah. And if it's a good game, it's a good game. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
You know, I don't like the SEC, but when they have good games, they have good games. Yeah. Alabama and Georgia face off. Alabama LSU face off. Alabama Auburn face off. You know, those are good games usually, and I love entertainment games. You know, they're fun to watch, and I love to watch. You know, Houston in the March Madness almost got beat the other night by A&M. Actually, but that dude hit a 3 at the buzzer to take it to overtime, and I was like, oh. A&M might take them out. Yeah. And I've been on Houston all year. I think Houston's the best team in the country. I really do. Everybody's on UConn, but I think Houston's the most complete team in the country. They almost got took out in round 2, so they're barely.
But it's there's always that one team, that they're the dream killer. You know what I mean?
I would tell everybody on the side of UConn, watch out for Iowa State.
Yeah.
Or Illinois, one of the two, because Iowa State, Illinois have to play each other to get to the Elite Eight, and they're going to probably play Alabama. I can't exactly remember. Or no, Arizona. And Arizona's really good too, but Arizona, I don't trust them.
Yeah.
I feel like Iowa State is a sneaky national championship team. They're like Tech a few years ago with Chris Beard. Well, nobody expected them to go to the championship, but they did. Yeah. That's Iowa State right now. They've got the momentum. They're playing really good basketball.
Inspired, probably.
Yeah, and they have a really good coach, and y'all better look out for them. Yeah. They're good. So who knows? By the time we record our next episode, it'll be going into the Final Four. We'll know a lot different. Yeah. We'll know a lot.
It's crazy because those first couple days, everything's just like, bah, 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 bah.
Dude, 16 games a day for 2 days.
And then it's like, it stalls out for a while, you know what I mean? And
so Thursday and Friday, it's 32 games in 2 days.
The final actually in April, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. So we just finished the first weekend. You finished the round of 64 after Friday. After Friday, it's down to 32 teams. Your 32 teams, so you get 16 games on Saturday and Sunday, 8 and 8 to make it 16 games. Takes you down to the final 16 teams. So now on this Thursday, you'll get 4 games, and Friday you'll get 4 games. And then Saturday you'll get 2 games, and Sunday you'll get 2 games, and then you're down to your final 4. That plays on Saturday. The national championship will play on Monday.
You know what's crazy is how many brackets were busted within the first 5 or 6
You know who B.J. Robinson is, right?
Yeah.
He made it through the first round perfect. He had a perfect bracket through the first round. He got busted day 2, but he actually had a perfect bracket after 32 games.
It's never been done, though.
The whole thing has never been done.
No one's ever picked
Some people can claim to have, but no, it's never happened. I don't know how you possibly could.
Because ESPN at one point, it was like a billion it was like a crazy amount of money that you would
it's still out
win
there.
$10 million or whatever if you could produce a perfect bracket.
Yep. It's still out there, and people are still trying.
Dude.
I have to assume at some point it'll happen, but
here's the reason why I say it won't, because there's so many teams. And the thing about it is, in order for you to know or to make an educated guess on which team is going to beat which team, you would have to spend your entire life beforehand studying and watching every team play. You'd have to know their strengths. You'd have to know the team they're playing's weaknesses. You'd have to know if they have a chance. I mean, just going on a guess, you're not going to get it.
Crazy thing is there's dudes that do that for a living. That's all they do, and they still can't get it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So, Joe Blow, unless he's a time traveler, you know what I mean?
Seth Greenberg said Texas was going to lose to Colorado State in round 1. Didn't happen. And Seth Greenberg's freaking very reputable, man. He's a former coach. He knows this game. You know what I mean? Like, you never know. Yeah. You never know. But BJ made it 32 games perfectly.
Well, every time I do one, I pick the favorite. I pick who I think's going to win the Natty, and that's who I ride with the whole way. But then as I'm going, I'm like, I don't like them, so I'm like, or like, whatever.
Right.
But I mean, I don't even think I've finished in the top 75% of all the brackets that I've done with my friends and stuff. We'll all get together and do them.
Yeah, no.
And everybody's like smoking me, and I'm just like, I'm down there hanging around the DAL club, the dead ass last.
I like to fill out 2, and I'll fill out one that's like strictly from what I think, because I know the game well, and I pay as close attention as I can. I don't watch all the basketball, but I watch a lot. I go strictly off of head, no emotion. I can't let my heart get in the way, and then I'll pick one off of my heart, because I watched obviously Texas. I didn't expect Texas to be much more than what they were right? But I thought that they had a chance against Tennessee. I really did.
That would have been that might have got the wheels rolling enough, the momentum rolling enough that they all would have played pretty good together. Because I remember not too long ago when I was sitting in here, we were watching. I think we were watching them play Houston.
Was it Houston or Tech? I think it was
No,
Tech.
it was Tech. It was Tech.
Yeah.
And you were bragging about how this is the squad.
Yeah, it didn't work.
They just
out.
couldn't get their wheels under them.
It took them a while too, and when they finally did, they were a pretty good team. Big 12 is ridiculously difficult. It was ridiculously difficult for every team. Kansas lost 7 games in the Big 12. That doesn't happen.
What about Tech? Where's Tech at? Are they still playing or?
No. They lost in round 1.
Okay.
Yeah, they lost to Colorado.
As long as we outlasted them. Kentucky losing, Kansas losing. That's kind of. OU wasn't even a factor.
They weren't in it.
Yeah, I didn't think so. Any big name teams that got snubbed? I mean, because I saw somewhere that a couple of teams got snubbed and they're not going to do the NIT.
That's St. John's.
Okay,
Rick Pitino.
So they got snubbed, and he was like,
I wouldn't say they got snubbed. They were 1-5 against Tier 1 teams.
yeah,
You know what I mean? They weren't that good. They were close. And they needed to have maybe one more big win or do better in their tournament. But it didn't happen. I mean, it is what it is. You can't be mad about that.
yeah.
And then they offered to let them play in the NIT, and Rick Pitino said, no, we're not going to play in the NIT.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Don't do it. Nobody cares, Rick.
Crybaby.
But yeah.
Well, anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to get all that.
No, hey, man. You know what? We're now a sports talk show, too.
Yeah.
We've been teetering on this a little bit, but the only problem with it is this is way behind. So.
Yeah. The people that are when this comes out and the people that actually listen to it, they're going to be like, dude, that was
a month ago
Yeah.
or 3 weeks ago.
What are you talking about? Why are you talking about this right now? But in our defense, we record way early.
Yeah, because we have jobs,
full-time jobs.
Yeah, and life and things that we have to do, and
things happen, and
we are committed to 52 in this year, 52 episodes this year, one a week for 52 weeks. We promised ourselves and our listeners that we would do 52 this year, and hopefully we get more listeners.
I see us doing more than 52 this year, though.
Let's do it. I'm down. Every time we get together, we might as well record because we're there anyway.
Yeah, we come sit here, and like last night, we sat here. I think it was like almost 11 o'clock when I got home last night.
Yeah, we spent a couple of hours here, but that was more for us. We needed to get. Yeah. There were some things that needed to get off the table, off the chest, and on the table.
Yeah,
I love this table, man.
I don't.
It's.
I love the atmosphere at the table,
it's not the table itself, but what happens at this table is real.
Yeah, I'm gonna burn it. I'm gonna build a new one.
Well, whenever you're ready, you go right ahead. Well. So anyway, I'll always talk sports. So if anybody wants to chime in,
hit the Q&A. Like we still ain't gotten.
I know I'm disappointed in you guys. Why don't y'all reach out to us? We love you. We're trying to help.
Fake email, and I'm gonna start hitting some Q&A. So, but on a little more serious note, what kind of stuff you got on your mind? I mean,
man,
I hate to put you on the spot like that, but I know you have something because I could see it.
Well, there's a bunch of things. There's always a million and one things going through my mind.
Oh yeah,
because I overthink everything. And I don't know, man. I thought about giving, but then I thought about money and like I don't know. I really don't know. I would say that I was thinking about money earlier, and I hate money. I absolutely hate it. I hate how desperate we are to have it. I hate how
it turns good people into into horrible people.
I hate how it makes people are so desperate to have it and want it so badly that they're willing to screw people they love in order to get it. I hate that we don't have any options but to have it. And if we were on the barter system, this would be pointless. We would have to just stand on the corner and do it. You know what I mean? But it's just
my biggest thing about money is I hate how people are so willing to just give up their soul and all their morals to have it. They do. I mean, this may ruffle some feathers, but you look at how Hollywood is and how there's been a lot of people, a lot of performers and stuff like get on stage and they're mocking Christ. I mean, I'm sure pretty much anybody that knows anything knows who Lil Nas X is, and I'm not bashing this young man. I'm just saying the way he goes about promoting himself by mocking Christ is just not okay.
Yeah.
But
well, he's going to pay the price for that at some point.
It's all money. It's all and it's just.
What did the word say? What did God's word say? It said that it's not money. It's the love of money that's the root of all evil. Yeah. And I hate how greedy people are. I hate how greedy it makes me sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, because I'm gonna be dead. I'm gonna be real honest with you. When times start getting tough, I'm penny pinching Magoo over here, and
I can be stingy, man.
I'm
I have a real hard time saying no to my wife, but
my wife wants to go get her nails done, or she wants to go get a pedicure, and I'm like, and
you better go get a second job, fool.
Yeah.
But
for all the listeners, my wife does pay for her own stuff. I don't want her to hear this, and stuff, and I don't need that kind of drama going on in my life right now.
But it's just, I just hate it. I hate how dependent we are on it. And you know what? It's a never-ending chase. I want it too. I'm asking for it too. I'm asking God for it. I want it. I want this to be blessed where I can do this as a job. I'd love to be able to spend more time doing this and improving it and being better.
Have a studio.
For a good reason. Don't get me wrong. This isn't a fully selfish adventure. You know what I mean? It's not. I'm not doing it for me. I'm not doing it just because I want to make money. And I'm going to do it if I make money or don't. You know what I mean? I don't really care. It would be nice to not have to do the 8, well, I say 8 to 5. Ain't no 8 to 5 in my life, but you know what I mean? To devote my life to something that I'm passionate about.
My thing about money, I don't want so much of it that I have to look over my shoulder and have bodyguards. I don't want that.
I don't need that.
I don't. Now, if it ever come to that point and I was at that point, I think realistically I would probably give the majority of it away anyways.
Oh, yeah.
You can't.
That's another thing.
You can't take it with you, and there's so many people in this world that are. I mean,
bro, they're right around us everywhere we go.
Yeah. Okay. I'm probably gonna strike a nerve with this. But you look at all the homeless people that are starving. All these people. You look at all these people in these foreign countries that are starving. But look at the people that are on food stamps in America. Yeah. Tell me their weight class. They're in the 250 and up club.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're paying them to kill themselves by basically gorging themselves to death.
Death by cheeseburger.
Yeah. Essentially.
Yeah.
While we could be. I'm not taking anything away from that. I'm not. And some of those people. I'm not trying to be political, and I'm not trying to get into this. All I'm trying to say is there's people out that are genuinely starving to death.
Yeah, but we're complaining here about not having enough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was talking to my dad the other day. I was like, he will openly admit that he's got a pretty good life. You know what I mean? Today,
oh,
he doesn't.
He's
living
best life
the
of
dream.
Anybody I know. You know,
he doesn't have a lot of responsibility. He helps take care of the dog and keep the house under upkeep, and he just pretty much takes care of himself during the day. And You know, he helps us out.
Plays his games.
Yeah, plays his games and watches the news and gets on my nerves with the politics. But I love him to death, and we have those conversations. But, you know, it's funny to me. He's not the only one that has a life that's that pretty much simple. But yet people that live those kinds of lives still find things to bitch about. Excuse my language. Like, I know that's not what we're supposed to do here, but I mean, it's like they live for nothing but to complain. It's like, what? Especially in this stinking country, man. What are you complaining for?
Well, this kind of is par for the course, because if you look at how kids are brought up nowadays, kids aren't really necessarily taught to be thankful anymore.
No,
they're
not
taught,
really.
They're taught to try to keep up with their friends and try to keep up with yada 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 and Joe Blow and what have you. And
I remember Jabot jeans. You remember Jabot jeans? Oh, we all wanted them.
Yep,
we all wanted them.
And some of us got them.
And the ones I got, I stole.
Some of us did not. You know what I mean?
The ones I got, I stole, or I stole something to trade for them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We didn't come up with that. I wouldn't buy that, no way.
But you look at how kids are raised nowadays. They're kids. More often than not, the most wealthy kid in the school is the leader. Everybody else is following his lead. And I hate to say that, it's a terrible thing until you start getting into high school, and then you get the kind of the rebellious ones, but typically everybody's trying to follow the flash.
Yeah,
and that's where this complaining thing really kind of builds up, because
it's never enough.
No, never.
It's never enough.
You got 3 hots and a cot. You got clothes on your back. You got a freaking roof over your head. I mean, there's people out there in some of these foreign countries live in cardboard boxes. Every time it rains, they got to go try to find new cardboard.
Sunshine. Thank you for rain.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you for joy.
I thank you for pain.
It's a beautiful day. And I'm sure everybody knows that, but that kid's amazing. I love his attitude. I love his demeanor. I hate that they commercialized it and they remixed it and made it into something else. Because they took away the pureness of his message,
Right.
But this kid's he gets it.
You're talking about somebody who knows nothing about the comforts of what we have.
Yeah, and he gets it.
And I'm going to complain about not having enough money and not having enough this and not having enough that. Yeah. Oh, my God, this guy has nothing. Everything that he has on his back was given to him by donation.
Yeah.
Okay? He didn't get to buy nothing.
No, and he's still happy.
Woo! Big old smile, too, boy.
Yeah, I woke up this morning, I was mad. Big mad. For no reason.
Yeah.
Because life just ain't working out. Well, you know what? Then go make it work. Shut up. Quit crying. You know what I mean? Like,
well, and if don't get me wrong, like I want to make sure that I'm clear about this, because like I'm not saying your problems are not valid. I'm not saying that your feelings aren't valid. I'm not saying that your issues are not real. They are.
But open your eyes.
But are they really that bad?
Welcome to first world problems. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Welcome to some first world problems, because you ain't got third world problems. Because if you did, you don't have no running water.
Bro, my car wash was closed down. I couldn't get my car washed. Yeah. How inconvenient is that?
Yeah. You know what I did? Oh man, this is a good one right here. So, I've been trying to budget $20 roughly a month for unlimited car washes or whatever. Well, I quit that because every time I would go, it was broke. So I was like, no, forget it. I'll just go wash one every now and then whenever I want to. Saturday morning, I was like, I'm going to go wash my pickup. Then I was like, man, you know what? I got a power washer. I got a $400 power washer sitting in my garage.
Yeah.
I'm going old school. So I got a bucket with soapy water and a rag, and I got my power washer out, and that's how I wash my truck.
Yes.
2.5 hours later, I was in the drying process. You know what I mean? But when I say this, I felt so good about myself after that.
Right.
Because look, you take for granted the fact that we have all these conveniences. You look at the Chosen. Yeah. They relied on God to provide them food. Now we can just go down to Arby's.
Yep.
We don't rely, and I think that's a big part of what's going on in our culture. We're not relying on God anymore.
Yeah, we're not relying on God's provision.
No.
So Jehovah Jireh. I'm sure you've heard that before. That just means God our provider, right?
Yeah.
Well, do you know where that came from? The Jehovah Jireh, the God who provides. That's the story of Abraham and his son Isaac when he was going to sacrifice Isaac. Think about this for a minute. Yeah. This is crazy stuff. Oh, man, and I could connect this all to Jesus too. So, okay, so Abraham was the first one. He was the one that talked to God after the flood and all this stuff. Abraham trusted God, and he did all the things, and he was a very old man.
Almost sacrificed his own son.
Correct. He was an old man who had advanced in age, with a wife who was advanced in age, who was, quote, quote, barren, couldn't have children. And eventually God says, no, you're going to have sons, children enough. Your family lineage is going to be so big, like it enumerates the stars. You know what I mean? That number is bigger than that. You know what I mean? It's like, woo.
Yeah.
Okay, God, I trust you. And eventually, Sarah does have a baby, Isaac. And then one day God says, hey, I need you to sacrifice your son.
And Abraham, without a doubt, it's like, come on, boy, it's time to go.
Look, you got to read the story because
I know it's a complex story, but
it's essentially that
it's like he goes and tells his wife, like, I have to take him up to the mound,
bro. The people around him are like, where are you going?
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
Yeah,
and
what's wrong with you, bro?
He's like, we're going to go up there, and they're like,
why?
Mm-hmm. He's like, don't worry about it. We're going.
Yeah.
And here's Isaac, just like,
yeah. Isaac,
where are we going, Dad?
Yeah. He's like bobblehead teenager, where are we going? You're going to die today, son.
I mean, essentially.
That's basically what the storyline was supposed to be, but instead it was a goat or a sheep.
It was a ram. Takes him up to the top of the hill, to the altar where he's going to sacrifice him.
God's like...
And I mean, he brings the knife up, and it's coming down. He says, stop! He looks over, and there's a ram stuck on a branch. God provided
an alternative route.
An alternative route. But he wanted to know,
would you do it?
Are you willing?
Yeah.
Just like we talk about with this.
Yeah, are we willing?
Are you willing? Regardless.
Yeah, because we've said it. We say it every episode. We wanted to prove that we could do God's will willingly.
So I'm willing to do it. I'm going to keep doing it till the wheels fall off.
Well, in all honesty, can I bring up a point that's going to kind of make this a little easier to understand why we keep doing it?
Yeah.
When we come, like we sit down, like we sat down for a couple hours last night. We didn't record, but we could have very easily called that getting together.
Yeah.
But like this morning, I got up and I was like, man, I'm kind of jacked.
Yeah.
Kind of jacked, I get through the day, get off a little early, go home, try to tend to my dog who's
something's wrong.
Something going on with him. Had dinner, just I was jacked. I was ready to get here.
Yeah.
It's part of it's now part of the life plan. Like it's part of the week. Like, it's like me and my wife don't ask each other anymore,
What are you doing?
Church on Sunday. We don't ask each other that. We just know Sunday's church.
We're going
day.
to church.
She doesn't ask me, do you have podcasts? She just knows. Tuesday's podcast.
That's what we're doing.
She doesn't ask me Monday about Bible study. She just knows Monday's Bible study.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're to that point now where there's days in your life that are dedicated to something.
Yeah.
That's why it's so easy.
Yeah.
It's just, this is it.
Yeah. I tell you that
I don't know what I would do if I had a Tuesday off.
I don't want a Tuesday.
I mean, what am I going to do? Go get turned up in the club on a Tuesday? I mean, what are you going to do?
Club turn up on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
No, man.
That was a song reference, but
I know. I don't want to do anything else. Yeah. And you've heard me talk about this before, and I'm so insecure. Bro, I know that all the people around me look at me like I'm so put together, but bro, I am freaking fractured in all the right places. Yeah. And I'm held together by mud and scabs and scars, and
yeah.
I don't want anybody to hear that and think that I don't know how good my God is, because he is, and he's brought me through so much, man. But bro, I'm broken, and I deal with not good enough and not feeling good enough all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm constantly, because this is so important to me, just like my marriage, I almost self-fulfill prophecy that shit breaking down.
Yeah.
Because I'm like I grip on so tight that because I don't want to let it go. Yeah. I'm afraid it's just the next thing that I do or the next thing that I say is going to be the one thing that's going to be the last thing. You know what I mean? And I know you can encourage me all you want, and you always do, and I really am grateful for that. But
I actually was going to take this another route for you. Okay. With that being said, like how you always kind of feel like you said, like you're grasping onto this because to you it feels like it's the next promising thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The good news about that is it is, but I think the reason that you're grasping so hard is because you've talked about it for so long, wanting to do this. Yeah. You've talked about it. And then it was just like, okay, here we go. Let's do this. Yeah. And then now you had talked about it and really kind of I'm not going to say wished for it, but you kind of had that yearning to do this. This was a call. You felt like this is a calling of yours. Yeah. So then when it happens, I get why now it's like, okay, yeah, you want to put a stranglehold on it because I don't want to lose. You're afraid it's going to go away. It's something you've wanted to do for so long. Look, I've never thought in my entire life about doing a podcast. I've never, not one time.
You were sure willing.
Yeah, and to be really honest with you, to be really frank with you right now, and just be upfront and as transparent as I could possibly be, I can tell you exactly what happened. We were going through Bible study. My fire was burning so strong. Yeah. Trying to develop my walk, and I was chasing. I wasn't actively seeking the Lord. I was dead sprint marathon running after him. Yeah. At this point, when you're first starting to learn, your fire's really raging, and not my fire was raging. And you started talking about it, and it was. It's like that time at church when I raised my hand and next thing,
yes, Lord.
Yeah, I was like, it's here we go. Yep. I'm here. Let's do it. Yeah. And from that point on, now I'm not going to say my fire has dimmed. I'm just going to say it's just like any other person that is actively seeking the Lord. At first, it's hot, it's bright, it's it's amazing. Yep. And then what happens to you at this point is the enemy starts to realize he's losing you. So he starts throwing these curveballs. He's throwing jacks and marbles at your feet while you're trying to walk. He's doing anything he can to stumble you up. Legos.
The perverse.
You know what I mean?
Barefooted, you son of a gun.
Yeah, he's throwing Legos out there on your path while you're trying to walk barefooted with the Lord. You know, he's doing these things to you, and the reason why is because he knows he's losing you.
Yeah.
So it's not that your light's dimming. It's not that anything's going away. It's if the enemy's not attacking you, look, you're doing something right for him. He knows he's got you.
Yeah. I don't know what it is about us, not us specifically, but like people. Bro, I've been healed of so much pain and so many traumas, and yet I want to grasp back onto them. I want to keep pulling them back close and like, oh, my cuddly thing that hurts me. It's pokey and prickly, and I like it. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like spicy food. It hurts, but we eat it anyway. Good,
I don't want to sound like I'm a therapist or anything like that, but I can tell you,
sure.
I can tell you 100% of what I think the problem is there is it's like comfort food. You know it's bad for you,
but you're gonna do it.
But you eat it anyway. It's, you know, and that's the same thing. That's the same kind of thing that you're doing. Is that's something that you were comfortable dealing with for so long.
Yeah. That
now that you're not dealing with it anymore, it's uncomfortable because you've been so comfortable with kind of dealing with that.
Man, that's an interesting. It's not interesting. It's absolutely true.
It's 100% true.
Think about what we were talking about the other day. Like we had our little impromptu session with our other friend from Bible study.
Yeah.
Like I lost my thoughts. That was so.
Keep it going. It'll come to you. Don't give up on it.
It's just, we just get comfortable in our pain.
Yeah.
And we want to keep hanging on to it, and instead of being like, I've been healed from these pains. Like I sat here and talked about all these crazy things that happened between me and my dad, like things that happened to me in my life, in my process. And that's not even all of it. There's a lot of others.
Before you go any further with that, how long were you comfortable with dealing with that?
There it is. That's exactly right. Like, bro, you talk about like how come
15, 20, 30 years?
30.
It's not until you finally get closure that you're actually over that event.
Right.
So look, when it comes to addiction,
right,
I was 36, 37, 38 maybe, 37. I'm trying to do the timeline. 37 years I dealt with addiction.
Yeah.
I was pretty comfortable with that. You know what I mean? Right. And then so now it's not that I want to be an addict, but the reason it's always on my mind and I'm always hanging on to it is because look, 37 years, bro, I'm 43.
Yeah, that's a lot.
37 years of fighting this. And I mean, it's real easy to hold on to at this point, and it's the same with anything. It's the same with abuse. It's the same with mental trauma.
There it is.
It's the same with anything.
Yeah. I was thinking what my process was, and before I lost my train of thought, was the ridicule.
Yes.
Right. And
mental, physical, verbal.
Yeah.
All those abuses are
all the things that I was so comfortable with. I'm so comfortable with being not accepted and not understood. I'm comfortable with that.
Yeah.
And if it's almost like I'm waiting for something bad to happen because then I can fight.
Yeah.
Right? Because I'm a fighter. I don't give up on nothing.
The fight or flight sequence for you is fight it.
Yeah. I'm ready to fight it. But then I get involved with people. I get involved with people like you, my dad, my mom. Oh, my mom.
Your wife?
Not my mom, because she was the opposite. My wife, who was so freaking supportive and so loving and encouraging. Like, it's uncomfortable. It's a good thing.
Yeah.
And I hate that I feel that way. I hate that I feel uncomfortable with it. You know what I mean? But I watched you with our friend from Bible study feel the exact same way about how he was talking about you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But so okay, uncomfortable. It's okay to be uncomfortable.
Right.
Look, I'm uncomfortable probably 100 times a day.
Sure.
I'm uncomfortable sometimes, because since last Wednesday or Thursday, I've been going to Lowe's every morning at, 6:45, 7 o'clock, getting all my stuff. And I remember I used to do that, and they would follow me around the store. Now, was never stealing. I mean, like when I was out there building a cabinet shop, I went to Lowe's every morning before I went to work because I didn't want to deal with the 8 o'clock idiots.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because at 8 o'clock, that store turns into a clown show.
It's a cluster.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you.
So I've been going back to doing that. Well, back then, employees would follow me around. Well, now they're doing it too. So I'm uncomfortable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm taking that. I'm uncomfortable there, and then get to the job site, and no one's there. The front door's wide open, and one of the daughter's in the back in her bedroom sleeping, and I'm like, this is uncomfortable for me too, because there's sometimes people get accused of things. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. And not that you would ever do anything like that.
Absolutely not. But it's self-preservation mode at this point. Like I'm very real, or God forbid anything ever happened. But what if you walk into a crime scene and everything, like, it's already happened, but you're the first person there, and you have to call. They're going to be like, okay, so what was you doing here?
How are you here? Yeah. I got a receipt from Lowe's from 7:15.
Yeah. Look, this is where I was at, and I'm here working. Yeah, but you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, so absolutely.
There's so many different things that happen through the day that make me uncomfortable. Those are the extreme situations, but sometimes I walk into my own house and I'm uncomfortable. If I feel like me and my wife are tiffing, or if I feel
just
like
at odds,
or just if I don't want to talk, because my wife likes to talk to me, and I thank God for that, because I've been with people that never wanted to talk to me before. Like,
right.
They didn't care if I was even around,
Yeah.
So I do love the fact that she wants to talk to me, but sometimes when I don't want to talk. And so when I get there, I'm uncomfortable because questions are getting asked, and all this stuff's happening. So these are ultimately things that make me uncomfortable throughout the day.
Yeah.
But at this point in juncture, what you have to be willing to do is you have to be willing to say, okay, look, I mean, am I really going to let all that make me uncomfortable, or is it just going to be?
How do I get comfortable with it, though? How do you get comfortable with going from being used to all of the negative stuff? I want to say all the things that my mom would say.
I'll tell you exactly how you get used to it.
How's that?
Family, love, friendship, brother.
How
fellowship.
Long? How long does it take? How long have we been doing this? Not the podcast, but how long have we been doing?
As long as it takes. Hey, look, man, Rome wasn't built in a day. It could take 10 years. It could take 20 years. But guess what? In 20 years, we're still going to be doing what we're doing.
Yeah.
We're still going to be fighting, trying to better ourselves. So that's take comfort in that.
Yeah.
Uncomfortable now, take comfort in the fact that eventually you're going to have spent more time being comfortable without carrying that baggage, that you're not going to think about that no more.
Sure. And I think that's happened in a lot of cases. I don't know why I still feel like always like I'm not gosh, God, you are good, and you did not give us a spirit of fear, but here we are, here I am living in fear. I'm afraid to lose the things. I'm afraid. This is easy. This whole podcast thing, really, it's easy. I could post a podcast every day, anytime.
So let me ask you this: when you talk about you're afraid, are you afraid of going through the actions, or are you afraid of someone not approving of the action?
I don't care about their approval. I'm afraid of the whole thing just burning down, and because in my whole life, the sequence is build up, burn down, build up, burn down, build up, burn down. And the
got
burn
you.
down period hurts a lot. And it's like, man, I don't want to lose that.
Yeah.
I don't want to lose all of it. I don't want to gain the whole world and lose my soul. But this is important.
Okay.
Not just this podcast. I'm talking about a lot of things.
Let me bring this to your attention. All those things that built up, burned down, built up, burned down, built up, burned down, they led us here. They served a purpose.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay.
Romans 8:28.
So instead of holding dear to that, thank the Lord for that. Yeah. Because we wouldn't be sitting right here right now.
Yeah, without those burn down moments, this doesn't exist, man.
No. So that was needed. So take comfort in that, at least.
What we talked about, it's part of the process. Yeah. Romans 8:28, for God works all things for the good of those who love him and are called according to his purpose. So even the tough things, even the ugly things, even the bad things, even the burned down cities and the burned down relationships, those are all things because they build up and add up to a testimony and they add up to a story. Or interestingly enough, I don't know why this popped into my mind, but like, could Jesus tell a parable about me? You know what I mean? Like Jesus, a parable is just a story with a spiritual meaning, right? Could Jesus tell a parable about John? Could Jesus tell a parable about John and Jason?
Let me ask you this.
I almost believe that. I almost believe he could.
I believe he could, but let me ask you this.
Yeah.
God knows everything about every single individual, everything about every single individual.
Yep.
You know, not only can he tell a parable about us, but, I mean,
he can tell you the whole story.
He knows the beginning. He knows the end. He's going to tell a parable about us.
Here's the savage thing about Jesus to me, is all of the negative things that I think about in those stories, in those parables, he's trying to tell you what the positive was there. Yeah. He's like, no. That has nothing to do with this. Yeah. That has nothing to do with eternity.
It's easy to get sidetracked.
This world sucks, man, and we're stuck in it for now. But
so, you know, we've talked about the salt shaker effect and everything.
Uh-huh. We have a post on our Facebook.
Look, life is important because there's a reason we're all here.
It is.
We are to be fishers of men. Like we are to help bring people to Christ, because look, the floodgates in hell are going to be overflowing. You know what I mean?
They already overfull as it is. Yeah.
Our calling is to be loving and kind to each other and to be fishers of men. Look, I love how I love our church, and I love how rich, and I hate to name drop, but I'm going to, because this man deserves all the credit for this, because it was an amazing message.
Yes, sir.
But I love how Richie said that that half of the people could give a damn about helping the lost souls. They're more concerned about the fact that he said the word than they are about the lost souls that are going to be burning.
Yeah.
Look, as people, it's easy to get sidetracked. We get sidetracked every day. It's easy road rage.
I could easily get sidetracked right now.
Yes. But
we did for 30 minutes.
You look road rage. You look at all these things that make people mad. And I don't know where I started coming up with this terminology, but I call people chode suckers now. So I don't know what a chode is. I don't know what it is. Okay. Yeah. So out of the blue, it just started happening, and now that's my go-to. And
I have to apologize every time I have a moment like that, man.
I do too, but you know what it took is it's been too long since I have owned up and apologized for acting like an ass like that.
Right.
Sunday's message really brought it to heart. Like, it was like, okay, look.
Yeah, but it kicked you in the boo-boo so hard that it kind of made you go the opposite direction for a minute. I felt that way too. Like, it kind of kicked me over here, but when I come back this direction, it's going to come back way stronger. You know what I mean? It's like a boomerang effect. You know what I mean? Like, it kicked me so hard, it was like, dude.
Yeah. But it's crazy because we really are, I mean, we really take for granted the fact that we do have a relationship with Christ. And I think part of the biggest problem with that is not only do we take for granted the fact that we have a relationship with him, we take for granted the fact that people don't and they are struggling to get one.
Right. Yeah.
And that's where
that's a very good point, man.
That's where we need to be better about, like, hey,
what was it? The notches in the key.
The notches in the key. So the notches in the key thing is, keys have all these funky grooves and notches. And that's what as individuals, we represent the notches and the grooves. And it takes all of us.
That's right.
It takes all of us to make that
key work. I think that's
work.
such a good point, man. That's a soundbite from something that we recorded on accident that the whole thing needs to come out, and I want it anyway. That doesn't matter, but
it's probably going to come out.
It's such a great point.
Yeah.
And it's such a great visualization of what the body of Christ stands for. Yeah. If you read through what the body of Christ is and about how each of us has a part in it, like an eye can't say that I'm not valuable because I'm not an ear. No, you are an eye and you are a part of it. I can't, my left foot can't say to my right foot, I'm not important because I'm not the right foot. Yeah. I need you to stay balanced. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, we need both. Yeah. Every single part is important, from the biggest, the most visually important to the smallest, most not visually important. You know what I mean?
So
everybody plays a role.
This is gonna be kind of crazy too. I don't know, like whiskers on a cat.
Yeah.
How important those are.
Clip one.
Yeah. And watch. Yes.
They look like a drunk person.
Whiskers on a cat. Cats are so nimble and they're so agile and they're amazing. You can drop them from anywhere and they land on their freaking feet. Yep. You know what I mean? But take away one of them small little whiskers.
Yep.
And watch the whole system come crumbling down.
It's nuts.
It's the same for us. Big or small.
What a
big or
fantastic
small.
visual.
Big or small, it doesn't matter.
I had a cat. This is in my first marriage. We had a cat that we adopted that was born blind, that had gotten the family where these kittens were born. They had put these kittens in a box and they had left it under storm drain, and it rained and it flooded the box. Right.
No.
Yeah. Well, most of them died, but this one did not die. But its eyes didn't ever. She was blind, but she would see shadows. You could see, like, she would see the sun coming through. The sun would be coming through a little spot in the blinds or whatever, and she would get stuck there, like, ooh, I like that, like. But bro, she had like an aura.
She could see the light.
Her name was Smudge. We named her Smudge.
That's cool.
But bro, like, it was awesome to see her, like, feel around in the world. You know what I mean? And she knew when she was on the couch or something, like, she could tell where the edge was, and you would watch her reach out. Okay, that's the edge. And she'd jump down. You know what I mean? Yeah. And she had all these little fine hairs. Like, when you would see her in the sunlight, all these fine hairs all over her body, like a cocoon all the way around her, that you wouldn't see in the regular, like this room's light. Yeah. You know what I mean? You wouldn't see that. But when you see the bright light shining upon her, you would see all these little fine hairs poking. That's God. God did that. Yeah. He gave her that. And you would rub her this high off her body, and she would know you were there. She'd be like, you know what I'm saying? She would feel that. You know what I mean? One of our kids did something and did actually kind of cut a strip of hair, and she lost a whisker or two, and it messed her up, dude.
Yeah.
For weeks on end. Like at some point she just kind of hid in the corner for a while.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna stay over here because
they also use that to determine if they can fit through things.
Right.
So cats will turn their heads, and if their whiskers fit, they know their body fits. Like it's a total navigation system for them.
Yep. It keeps their balance.
Oh yes,
it's everything. But it's crazy. I haven't thought about that cat in a long time, man. But she was cool.
You're welcome.
It was gross. She had leaky eyes that had boogers all the time, and it was gross. But she was the sweetest thing in the world, man, and awesome. It was awesome to watch her. You just watch her. You're like, dang, how do you do it? And she didn't bump into things. Now, if you rearrange the room all of a sudden, she would bump into things. But
she probably had that old paw. She'd reach out.
She would. If
she was uncertain about something,
She'd reach out, and you'd see her reaching off the edge of the couch, like, okay, is there something still to stand on?
She knew how far it was to get down, and
it was awesome to watch. Wow, that's a memory I did not expect, but I think it's really a representation of for we walk by faith and not by sight. You know what I mean? How long am I going to rely on my 5 sense reality? How long am I going to rely on myself? How long am I going to rely on my feelings?
How long are you going to carry your baggage?
Honestly, I would like to be done carrying that.
When are you going to put it down?
I would like.
It's not even yours to carry anymore. You know that, right? It's not even your baggage to carry anymore, and you're still carrying it.
Share, shame, same. Preach, word. Preach, your white boy.
I'm just saying.
Are you saying the same thing to yourself?
I'm saying it to both of us. What I'm telling you.
I'm ready to put it down. I'm ready to throw that stuff.
I let my baggage live in my head rent free.
Yeah. It should be paying me rent at least by now.
All day, every day. All day, every day. There's something from my past, something that I'm carrying that is living in my head rent free. It's not even my baggage to carry anymore.
I'm going to let it go.
Enough. I know it's easier said than done. But hey, now we're both of us.
You know what?
Have recognized that this is an issue.
It starts there. It starts with the first step.
Yeah.
Journey of 1,000 miles starts with one step.
Yeah. Journey to recovery starts with admitting you have an addiction.
the journey to healing.
The journey to healing
begins with admitting you have pain.
You had a problem. I mean, there's a million different ways we could analyze this, and we could bring in all these things to kind of similar whatever I'm trying to say.
Yes,
bring in the similarities of everything.
Yep. What I can say is, we're in a moment right now where we can make a decision. Yeah. But I think that the decision starts with calling it out daily and saying it daily. I'm leaving that here. I'm leaving that here. I'm leaving that here. Every time that thought comes up, remember I told you about.
I'm getting on this plane, and my baggage is staying in the freaking carousel.
I'm done with it.
That's what I'm doing.
Let him go, Pharaoh.
Yep.
Remember me telling you about that?
Yeah.
That's stuck in my mind, and it's still in there, and I don't think I used it properly, and I think that that's something that we should consider, because what that essentially means is free me from slavery.
Yeah.
I am a slave to my brokenness, and I'm done being a slave to it.
Yeah.
I don't want to be stuck there anymore.
Yeah.
God doesn't want you to be stuck there.
No.
You know what I mean? Your feelings are valid. All that's real.
Yeah, but there's an open door sitting here, and he's waiting for you to go through it. But you're not going to go through it because you're still holding on to the same BS that you've been holding on to.
because it's comfortable?
Yeah.
Is it really that
It
stinking
ain't that
comfortable?
freaking comfortable, dude. What it is it's a situation of that's what you're used to. It's a situation of, me and you have talked about this a freaking gajillion times too.
Yeah.
We are creatures of habit.
Yeah.
So simply because it's a habit to be attached to it, now it makes it even that much more of an attachment.
Right.
That's us. That is us 100% in a nutshell.
Yeah. It's like I talked about. Don't ask me why I'm going to go here. Probably because my birthday's getting close.
It is getting close.
And this comes up at this time, and you know what I'm about to talk about a little bit.
It comes up in about 27 more days. No, what's today? 27th.
It's April, or I'm sorry, it's March 26th. So yeah, roughly 27
more days.
days.
Yeah.
Woo! Nice math. But I don't like celebrating my birthday, which I really wasn't a big birthday guy.
I get it, and I understand that. But let me kind of hurt your feelings for just a second. Okay. We are the A2380 babies.
A2380 babies. Yes.
Oh,
April, August.
Yeah. So guess what's happening? We're celebrating. Okay. Right. We got a lot to celebrate for. Number one, we started this journey with this podcast on a whim.
Yeah.
We got for any of the listeners that are curious as to the hot spots on the maps that this thing is actually getting played. It's actually been listened to in Jordan, several times in
France,
Belarus or Belgium.
Yep.
Brussels. Yep. Like 20. The most downloads have been in Brussels.
Yeah. San Francisco.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
It is amazing to me that there's that many people out there that are just like, oh,
let's listen to these knuckleheads.
Let's listen to these little gringos talk. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But look, we got a lot to be thankful for.
Absolutely.
One thing that we should be thankful for is the day of our birth.
Yeah.
Look, you have changed many lives. Okay?
Yeah.
I know some bad things have happened to you, and I know you carry that, and I know, and I'm not telling you that you shouldn't, because that's shame on me. But what I'm trying to tell you right now is the life that you are living is worthy of celebrating the fact that you were born.
Yeah.
Okay. Plain and simple. You're mine for A23.
and yeah, I get it. It's something, the point I was trying to get to, or what I was going towards, is like, that kind of was a nail in the coffin to that, right? What happened with the loss of our child and all that stuff.
I totally understand.
Yeah.
I get that.
But bro, you're talking about something that happened 22 years ago.
Look at all the good things that you've accomplished in life in the last 22 years. I'm just gonna bring up one thing, but I'm not gonna put it in the same words as our niece, because I don't want this to be misconstrued as anybody praising you for anything other than just being a great man.
Yeah.
But at one point in time, our niece asked what your body count was on baptisms. You've done a lot of amazing things.
Yeah.
A lot of amazing things.
I don't care how many I've done.
I know you don't.
Okay.
But you've done a lot of amazing things.
Yeah.
So I think it's okay to celebrate your day of birth.
Yeah. I have a hard time putting those hands together, especially for myself. But
no, I'm just
you're
saying.
absolutely right, and I think it's interesting that the whole conversation went this direction. We started talking about money, by the way.
Yeah, we started with sports.
Well, we spent
probably 25, 30 minutes on sports, and then it went into money, but then it got real.
I think that was real, and I think that God is so good that he directed the conversation like we ask. And we talked about something that's very, very important about leaving our baggage in the past and leaving our past in the past. and don't carry that past into the future. Because I don't think that you really can travel into the future until you let go of that, right?
No.
And I think we need to pray about it. Quite honestly, I think that right now we need to submit that to God, and we need to leave that right here on this table, where this amazing stuff that I know you hate this table logistically, but
not cool what happens at the table, but yes, the table, the physically the table. Yes, I can't stand it, but the stuff that happens at the table is it's amazing. It's miraculous. You can't change it. You can't. That's one of the only reasons that I haven't already started on another one, is because we have everything that's gone on at this table.
Yeah,
it would almost be like,
as long as you take parts of it and put it into the new table, we'll be fine. It'll come with you.
We've shared a lot at this table. To scrap it at this point would just be like an insult to everything that we've accomplished.
Yeah. You're absolutely right. But I also think that God makes all things new, and that just because we change the table doesn't mean that what happened at the table doesn't stay. Because everything that's happened at this table has been recorded and put out into the world. Well, not everything, but a lot of things. A lot of things. But right now, I think that it's opportune time for us not only to pray together, but to pray with the people around us and the people that are listening. That, you know what, man, we just need to let our baggage go. We need to put our pain down and leave it where it is.
Yeah.
And move into the future. You can do whatever you want to do, brother.
Because I've been really wanting to challenge myself a little bit, I'd like to apologize to the audience first and foremost. But I'd like to take a crack at this. I would like you pray for me all the time. I would like the opportunity to pray for you and pray for the listeners, if that's okay.
What I'm going to say? No, you can't pray for me. Yes,
no,
you can.
No, I'm just saying.
Yeah, absolutely.
This isn't typically. This is way.
It's a bold step.
Way off of what our normal actions are, but
please do your thing, and don't be offended if I add to it.
Okay, yeah, no, not a problem. Dear Heavenly Father, want to thank you so much for having the braveness to come here and to speak for you and to speak about you. Also, I want to beg you, please help us with this baggage. For any of the listeners that are listening, please help them with their baggage. Please keep us on the path that you have chosen for us. Do not let us carry this baggage anymore. This empty feeling, this overwhelming weight, these trials and problems that we've already accomplished and we've already overcome, but we're still dragging them through the mud like mules in a field full of clay. Help us to overcome that. Help us to leave our baggage here. For any of the listeners that are struggling in this same thing, help them to leave their baggage right here on this table with us. It's in your mighty name we pray. Amen.
Father in heaven, thank you so much for your goodness and mercy. Thank you that you are always faithful, that you've never given up on us. Thank you that you have overcome everything, and it's through you that we are inheritors of the promise.
When you have prayed, you have paid the ultimate price.
Amen.
Brother, I can tell you this, I've never been so excited about hearing this one, the playback on this.
Pretty exciting.
I'm excited to hear the playback, man. This was a good one. I don't have the authority to kind of throw around and challenge people that are listening, but Be
Yeah, we
bold.
do.
Be bold. Man, step out.
Step out of faith.
If you need anything, if you need prayer, we're not gonna, John Smith of Lexington, Kentucky, asked us to pray for such and such. We're not gonna do that.
Nope.
We're not gonna even air our prayer. We're gonna pray for you in private.
Yeah, we don't record everything.
No, but we're stronger as a group. People are meant to be together, and like our pastor said on Sunday, I want to be responsible for bringing some souls with me into heaven.
Yeah.
And it's very important that I think people know that our calling is to help people find our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. I mean,
That's it. Go out and make more disciples.
yeah.
That's it. We're disciples of
We're
Christ.
all gonna fudge up. We're all gonna fudge up.
Oh.
We're all gonna make mistakes.
I do that far more than I should
or
would like to admit.
But the thing about it is, we are God's children.
We are His completed work. He loves us.
We are His masterpiece. We are God's masterpiece.
That's right.
Don't forget that.
That's right. But it takes a process to make a masterpiece, baby.
Yes, sir.
And we're going through this process together.
Chiseling and hammering.
We're inviting everybody that ever wants to come along with it. And, man, we just invite you to help us get better, right? Yeah. And to, as long as you're coming out of a place of love, because we believe that love is the most important command, to love each other, right? Lovingly nudge each other in the right direction, lovingly guide ourselves on the path, or help each other on the path. Excuse me for like skipping all over myself, but I'm really, really proud of this. And yes, I am passionate about it. And it's not consuming, but I think about it every single day.
Yeah.
And I want to do better. And I would love for people to help us to get better, because we don't know anything about being content creators or podcasters.
This only works if eventually we start getting a little bit of feedback.
Yep, that's right. And I think that,
like, I love all the listeners. I love all the people that aren't listening.
Yep.
All the people that aren't listening, just keep in mind you're not on my Christmas card list right now. Totally just kidding, but
well, Jason, you got to bring your dad jokes.
Oh yes, dude,
you got to.
I got
because
one.
That's now part of the show.
Yeah, it is part of one. All right, so Shinkow. Hold on. All right. Kid. Dad, I think there's something in my shoe. Dad, it's your foot.
Jason, I think there's something in my shoe.
It's your foot. You're not wearing shoes either. I seen that earlier. You got socks on.
Okay, I have something in my sock. Okay. I don't know why, but this one just sticks out to me today. This was from Albert Einstein. There are only two ways to live your life. One is as though nothing is a miracle. The other is as though everything is a miracle.
Uh-huh. Well said. Well said.
Híjole,
Híjole, chingado.
we love you.